Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. We're doing a mental health video for you this week. We're talking about the inner narcissist and how to kill the narcissist. Admittedly, a little clickbaity. I'm not so sure you can kill your own inner narcissist. It seems like it's kind of part of the old being a human being and having an ego and operating in the world and everything. But the thing with narcissism, and I'm obviously not an expert, standard disclaimer that I always do, I'm just a sufferer of schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type. I'm not a practitioner licensed in any way, just a sufferer. So these are observations. These are based on experience. These are based on anything that I've studied and read, which is, not extensive. But narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder are kind of tossed around a lot these days. Everybody's a narcissist in everybody else's opinion. Nobody's actually a narcissist if you ask them. But if you ask someone who's not fond of them because they're selfish or they're self-centered or they're conceited or they only seem to think about themselves and not other people, they're automatically a narcissist. Well, even if you're not clinically narcissistic, and clinical narcissism, by the way, is a troublesome thing. It's actually a really debilitating disorder to have. And as a schizophrenic, I know about debilitating mental disorders, but narcissism's a really, really hard one, and it's very resistant to treatment. But being narcissistic occasionally, or having a strain of narcissism in your personality, narcissism, it's pretty much common. It's very common amongst people. People nowadays, especially young people, especially not to beat on the young people, but look, when you're young, it's easy to be full of yourself, too confident, too interested in your own well-being and not in the well-being of others. Okay, so that's narcissism, right? What I'm talking about is as it relates to mental illness. I don't know if you've ever heard this, that depression, for instance, bipolar disorder, these are selfish diseases, is what they say. These are selfish diseases. They're selfish diseases. And what do we mean by that? They tend to be very self-focused. And I can run you through how that works, basically. It's like this. When I have a depressed thought or a depressed emotion, what it tends to focus on is a miscuing based on perhaps personal experience, personal trauma, how you were raised, all sorts of things, right? But it cues up a misperception about yourself, a negative misperception, not inflated ego. It's like this: I am the worst person in the world. Nobody likes me. That's when I say to myself way too often, still to this day, even though I'm 40 years old now. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes me anymore. So that's the cat stepped in front of my light source. It's the middle of the night. So there we go. So that's obviously, it bends reality, right? If I say nobody likes me, well, my wife likes me. My mom likes me. Some of you guys like me. My friends who are still my friends like me, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Now the other cat's screaming at me. What I'm saying is that it is two things. It is a misperception of reality. It is a narcissistic misperception of reality. Nobody likes me. I'm the worst person ever. I screwed up big time. I did that. I feel guilty for this. I. It's not narcissistic in the sense that it is for your own benefit all the time. I only do things to manipulate people for me. I only do things to get things for me. It's more like I need this misperception of myself in this depressed mode somehow to complete the right picture for me right now. Because when you slip out of depression, what happens? Say you have a good day, the next day you go right back to more or less what we would call normal functioning about that kind of thing. Yeah. The principle is basically this. If in a depressed state, for instance, because it applies to schizophrenia too. Because check this out. When I'm having a delusional state, hallucinatory state, I'm hearing voices, for instance. That happens to me all the time, right? Those voices even are about me more often than not. And the experience is about me. And even how I behave is about me, because I'm locked in my own battle here. I'm only thinking about myself. Obviously, I'm hearing voices. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. It's terrible. It hurts. It like, it's a mental pain. And I'm sure you guys can relate to this, because a lot of people understand mental illness, especially these days when it's so prevalent. It's an emotional and a mental pain that is so engrossing you can't help but think about yourself. So any way you slice this, it is a narcissistic thing in a way. Yeah, it is a selfish disorder, set of disorders. Okay. So what I've been seeing lately, however, is that if you can diminish this intense focus on yourself, you could actually diminish the power of the misperception as well. You see? So if I say everybody hates me, and then I counteract it with, well, no, that's not really true, because my wife likes me, my mom likes me. That counteracts the reality distortion. But actually, if I can learn to and this is maybe counterintuitive, if I can learn to place less emphasis on myself in general, especially in a mentally compromised state, I don't have to battle the reality of those absolutes, those depressed, negative absolutes about me, because I'm not as concerned about me. See? I hope that makes sense. It's a new concept I've embraced, come across. I watch YouTube videos from psychiatrists and other sufferers and things with lots of followings. I observe my friends who have mental illness. I know a lot of people who have one thing or another, because I know a lot of creative people. And creative people, I've said this before, in my experience, tend to be a little bit depressed, a little bit off sometimes. Yeah. It's always this thing about me, and me too. It's always about me when I'm in that way. It's always me, right? And it's not a sin, because again, you're not doing it for your benefit necessarily. You're doing it as a protective thing. You've got to focus on you. And the mind tricks you anyway in this state. So what I've seen is that some people have recommended regular old meditation, which is good. I've done some meditation in my life as well. It's a possibility, because what does meditation really do? It separates you from your kind of like regular conscious state, which is, again, me, my mind, me, right? So that's a possibility. Might I recommend something a little bit more potent? Helping people, charity, being there for people, literally focus more on other people. I don't know. I can't say that this is a cure-all. I can say it's helped me. In my life, I've been a very selfish person. I just have. Always. I was the baby of my family. I was the spoiled little guy, turned into the spoiled big guy, until life beat me around a little. And here I am at 40 on YouTube telling you, focus on other people, man. Try it. Try focusing on on other people a little bit. You can meditate. You can take medications, which can kind of crank down your overreactivity to a little bit more of a manageable level. That's a thing too. Meditation is nice because it allows you to place emphasis where you desire it. It stills the mind, it calms the mind, it disciplines the mind. But I also think that maybe the better thing to do is literally focus on the needs of others. Become of service. You will not think about yourself when you're helping someone else. And in that moment, you are free of your mental illness, magically. So you have to understand that this is all a mental distortion. Shadow boxing. You're boxing your own shadow. And as long as perception is reality, which is how it is for people, what you bring to the table is what you're going to take away. So if you bring to the table a negative state and a narcissistic mindset, because that's a natural given of that negative state, do the opposite thing. Do a positive thing for other people. See? That's my line of thinking. In short, and really the point, becoming less me-focused improves my mood. Becoming less me-focused improves my relationships. Not to the point of being taken advantage of, being a doormat, that kind of thing. But I think we all have some wiggle room to focus on others more and less on ourselves. So this is not a clinical suggestion. This is my suggestion. In this world, look at the state of it and think about it. Think about every single person who could stand to gain by focusing on the people who need them. Help someone cross the street. Help an old lady cross the street. Give some time to a local cause. Go over to your mom's house. Help her put up her groceries. Console a friend who's heartbroken. You do any of these things, you will be free, for the time being at least, from your own mental pain. I promise. It's just a natural conclusion. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that good news? Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, so I don't know how sound that is. I don't know how full of advice that is, but that's what I got to offer you because it's something been on my mind. So, yeah, I guess we're at the conclusion. I'll be doing another one of these videos here in about a week and a half, like I always do. Check back in, Jeff Bull Central. Like, subscribe, share, notification bell. I also make music. I'm a musician. I also do video game videos because I'm a gamer. And I publish about every 3 or 4 days. Cool? Very cool. All right. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for checking in and watching the video. Bye-bye.
I know you know me, running around low and I'm meant to be. Control you, control me in our past life.